So talking about one-time payment plan, okay. So this plan
Mhm.
can be used for multiple different purpose, like talking about a referral bonus or retention intensive incentives or signing bonus, any
Mhm.
of the scenarios.
Any one-time bonus. Okay.
Okay. So let me show you like create one-time payment. Okay. So here as well we have an option of amount based and percent based. Okay. Normally,
Mhm.
maximum type of one-time payment plan that I talk about, they are majorly towards the amount based. Okay, we will look into that first.
Okay.
So talking about, I mentioned right, like one-time payment plan can be used for different use cases, right?
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
so some of the things will remain same. Talking about this enable coverage dates, right?
Okay.
So talking about
Okay.
this option, when we select this, right, uh, mainly what it says is like talking about this plan that we are creating, right? So mainly since when this is going to be used, right, apart from the effective date, if there is any specific defined dates for which we are creating this plan, so in that scenario, mainly we use this enable coverage dates checkbox that is available. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Talking about the here, so normally I can give us some. Okay. So talking about this category, right? Within the category, we have multiple options. Okay. So mainly there are so many categories that will be Workday delivered. Like talking about some of the category, like let's take an example.
Severance.
Yeah, no. Let me brief you. Like so we have
Okay. Okay.
different options, right? Like if I talk about referral bonus, right? So in referral bonus, I have an option, uh, right? Let's take an example of one time. Okay.
Yeah.
One-time payment plan. So normally when we give a one-time payment plan, let's take an example for a retention purpose or for a signing bonus. So we set up a criteria with the employee, like you have to stay with the company for this many months or else you have to pay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So normally we call that as a clawback payment option.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
in the category, that is something which we can define and talking about the referral bonus. So that in the referral
Okay.
bonus, we have an option, right? Like if in case the worker gets hired, right? After
Mhm.
that, there would be certain period of time till which what do you say? The worker, if in case any worker referred some employee and he joined, so only if he completes 3 months or if he completes the probation period, at that point of time only the worker will get paid as a referral bonus.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
normally there are some different categories that they have created, right? So here,
You have one at top, like
y-
referral.
yes, okay,
Could you just choose one for now for the purpose?
okay. So these are
Okay.
mainly Workday delivered ones, right? Which we can categorize and we can use.
Okay. For example, we have something called structural bonus or structural increase, right? Increase will be part of not the bonus plan, but it is uh, like lump sum. Lump sum is part of the separate bonus. It is like one-time cash settlement. We call it as lump sum settlement for a
Mm-hmm.
particular periodic because the person is red circled already. We cannot
Mm-hmm.
move his thing. In such case, also it is similarly we come on. It comes under this category of one-time payment
Yes. So
plan.
in that scenario, if in case you do not have any category reference, right, and there is a lump sum
Yeah.
amount that you can directly mention over here rather than getting into because
And
then
if I wanted to put is category is not mandatory. So if it is just a lump sum, only the
Mhm.
plan name can be lump sum, right?
Correct.
Instead of Raj referral bonus plan, I will mention as Raj lump sum plan, right?
Correct.
And I will mention the gross amount. You need not fix the category unless a
Correct.
category
Category
cannot
is
be
something
customized.
apart from that you have an option to create as well, right?
That's why I wanted to ask: is there an option to customize it? If
Yes,
not, because I saw like you have customized it, I would like to
correct.
know how do you customize it?
Okay. Create one-time payment plan, configurable category. So this is the task
Mm-hmm.
by which you can create your own category.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This is what I would like to know.
So let's take an example. If I select the referral one which was available. Okay. So you can see when I select the category, I get a payment option. If I do not select the category, the payment option is not available. Right?
And also, I see that for referral bonus, I have like for multiple countries, I have multiple referral bonus plans.
Mhm.
Okay, for example, if I'm having an office in India and also in European nations, I cannot pay the similar euros in India
Mhm.
because of the purchasing power parity, right? So
Mhm.
by introducing the purchasing power parity, I will give the equivalent amount for referring one employee based on the similar skill sets in India. Okay, for my Indian employees, whoever is referring. So in
Mhm.
such case, the referral amount does differ, and also the currency does differ. So in such case, I have to create two one-time bonus plan for each of the
No.
country, or how can I do
No.
it?
So you can see this one-time payment plan profiles. So in that scenario, you're not
Yeah.
going to mention anything over here.
Hmm.
Okay.
Not even the
Talking
target
about,
amount.
yeah,
Everything
talking,
remains zero.
yeah, you will use the category, you will use the payment option. If in case that is
Hmm.
something which is going to be same for all of them, or else you can add
Yeah, the
on.
payment option is the same.
Yeah.
The
So if
payout
that is the
time
scenario,
is the same.
you can just add on here. So in the left
Hmm.
hand side, you here see here, right? Target
Yeah.
amount, right? Currency. So you can keep the default currency or the reference currency here. And again, this
Okay.
is not a mandatory. You can leave this as blank as well. But talking about
Okay.
for multiple countries or for multiple different criteria or eligibility rules, right? So you can define it.
Yeah. So it is like similar like how we do in the
Yes.
similar structure
So
of
for
any of the
all
plans.
the
It'll just
yeah, for all the different plans that comes into picture, right? For
Mhm.
all of them, this option is available.
And for the compensation element, what you will choose? Could you go back to the compensation element
The
here?
compensation element you have to choose, right? Like for example, you can create for a referral bonus for your own compensation element, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because here you will not be using the base pay, right? So you can create your
Yeah.
own compensation element with respect to a referral bonus.
Yeah. But if in case of a lump sum, it is in reference to the base pay.
Yes. So
If
in that,
yeah, whatever the plan you're referring to, the ultimate linkage of the compensation element that you put it here, that you
correct,
select here. Okay,
correct.
logical, logical. Okay.
Let's take an example. You want to give the referral bonus is something with respect to
It's an
10,
allowance, right?
10 yeah, or the referral bonus plan is nothing but with reference to 10%, or lump sum is nothing but let's take an example of 10% of the base pay, right? So in that
Yeah,
scenario, you can mention you will not select the amount based one, you will select the percentage based one, and you will select the
yeah.
compensation element as a base pay. And here,
Okay.
in place of this target amount, you will get a target percentage wherein you can define that target.
In case of weighted, there is no weighted here, but in the
No, there is no option for a weighted one.
okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
So let me choose for some referral ones. Let's take an example of retention bonus.
Okay. Um, I guess like the referral and retention are entirely different,
Yes.
and
Okay, I will go with the referral.
we cannot type in the search column.
You can, yeah, you can type it here,
Okay, okay.
right? You have,
Because
it's up to you. Like there are only few items that is available, right? So that is the
yeah,
reason.
okay.
Not sure why this is not working, but normally it will work. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
so it's up to you, because there might be a scenario wherein there are hundreds and thousands of items, right? So I will not go and manually check. But the another good part here is
Mm-hmm.
you can see all the items that will be available in the form of list. It will be in the form of alphabetical order, right? So
So you can go like the
yeah,
chronological way. That's not a problem. Okay, fine.
okay. So in Workday, mainly the items that are listed, it's mainly in the alphabetical order. Okay.
Okay.
And here you can
Okay,
select the
got it.
payment schedule. Let me show you. 18, right? So you have to
Mm-hmm.
create the payment schedule. Okay.
Okay. So this is based on the individual, this is based on the company's actual plan. We can choose the payment schedule. Whatever the
Yeah.
plan has, the payment
Correct.
schedule that we are
Correct.
going to choose. Yeah. All
Yes.
right. And eligibility rules as default, like how we select for whatever the people eligible for them, we create
Yes.
like the eligibility criteria here. We list the eligibility criteria here. So the system will automatically pick the exact employees we refer to.
Correct.
Okay.
So let's take an example. You referred me. I got hired in sales department, but you are from
Okay.
HR department. Okay.
Okay.
So now talking about cost to new hire organization. So I am into sales department, right? So talking about this
Okay, okay,
cost
got it. It is
integration.
like okay, cost category. I got it. I got it now. I
Okay.
got it.
Anyway, with reference to
So
the compensation element, right, that will be created. Anyway, the referral,
yes, I forgot a terminology in Workday instead of functions, job functions, it'll mention like supervisory organization, right?
yes, correct.
Subordinate organization. Yeah. So by default, the Workday will say it as organization for individual departments and functions by default. So it is like cost to new hire organizations is default. Like if I'm hiring, if I'm referring a person for a technology, but I belong to HR, yes, the referral is from the technology department for the HR team, whoever has
Yes.
referred. Okay.
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 Talking about eligibility rule here that we can see,
Mm-hmm.
right? If in case this is specific to only one country or one specific place wherein I do not have, like I might have multiple criterias, right?
Mm.
If in
Yes.
case that is not the scenario, if I only have one criteria, then I will mention the eligibility rule over here. If in case that is not the scenario, then I will
Mm-hmm.
add on here and I will mention multiple as many I need. I'll mention the target amount depending upon the currency. Okay, if there is any recommended minimum or recommended maximum. Okay, like what is the range that we want to put in, right?
Okay.
Apart from that, here we will mention the separate different eligibility rules that I have. Okay,
Okay.
talking about work tax are related to like where exactly we want to link this. Okay, a referral schedule. So what is the payment schedule that we have here? Like here we have an option, right, to select payment schedule. So there might be for different eligible criteria, there might be different payment schedule. Let's take an example.
Can we do that? Can we do one? Like let's put a target amount like a dummy and let's create one.
Let me put one for US and one for Australia.
Yeah. I would like to know like a live example for
For
better
Australia, I have
understanding.
around 600 AUD. Okay, this is the target amount. This is the recommended minimum. I can keep this
Okay.
as 800 to
Maximum 1,000.
1200.
Okay.
I can keep this as 500 to 800. Eligibility rule. I can create an eligibility rule which is this is specific to people in US.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I can mention here for the workers who are located or located in Australia. Okay.
Okay.
Talking about payment schedule, right? Here I might have a scenario. If in case you do
What about
not,
the work tags here?
as I
What
said,
is the work tag here?
work tag as I mentioned, right? Work tag is mainly used for linkage purpose. Let me show you what exactly it is.
Can you pull in some dummy
So
here so
let
I
me
can
brief you. See,
understand?
talking about work tax is mainly used for the integration purpose. Okay.
Okay.
So normally what happens is, let's take an example. If there is any third party integration that comes into picture with respect to
Mm-hmm.
this, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let's take an example, right? I have a third party vendor, okay,
Yes.
who referred someone, okay. Now this
Okay.
payment should go to that specific third party organization. So in that scenario, what happens is an integration is created and we link the respective work tag over here,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Got it.
Talking about the referral payment schedule that we have, we can mention the payment schedule if in case we do not have payment schedule, right? Again, this is an option. So this will be given on the date of hire only, this amount. So
Mm-hmm.
normally we can give different hire date. Like for example, let's take an example. Let me choose like 6 months from date of hire, okay. And for Australia, let me choose for 18 months from date of hire. So likewise, we can select different criterias within this. Okay. After that, we have to mention here whether cost to new or hire organization, right? If in case we do not mention here, anyway, the payroll, this is the job of the payroll person, but we can check like where exactly this costing is going to come into picture. Anyway, with respect to this compensation element that we are selecting, the payroll person job is to link this with the respective costing allocations that we wish to have. Okay, so this is the job of the
Okay.
payroll person where he will link the compensation element to the respective payroll side.
Okay.
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 Similarly, if we go and look into, let me show you the one-time payment schedule. If in case you want to create your own payment schedule, right, we can mention like 3 months from high rate. Okay. Number you can mention here, yeah, three. What is the unit? It's nothing but in months, right? From date of hire or scheduled payment. So this is what, so normally here we are referring about hire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And likewise, we can create our own one-time payment schedule. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And we can use that. Let's take an example. I want to give the Australia people as, now let us talk about, I have to refresh this because this is not getting loaded the 3 months from hired, which I created later. Okay. So once you refresh this page, this option will become available. Okay. Now let's take an example. I want to, like, let's take an example. I created another plan. Okay. That is nothing but a retention bonus. Okay. So retention bonus based on the eligibility, it will not get assigned automatically. Okay. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Because let's take an example, our employee resigned, but we wanted to retain him. So we came up to a conclusion wherein the employee agreed to stay by getting some retention bonus, right? So this retention bonus should be paid to that worker in a manual manner, right? So normally, if
Mm-hmm.
I want to give any retention bonus or any one-time payment to any respective worker, right? Normally we have a task, a one time request one time payment. Here I can mention the effective date. It can be as of today or in the past, right? Let's take an example. I want to give a one-time payment for some worker. Let's take an example of John. I will select the worker. So here you will be able to select only one worker at a time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And here you can define the reason why you want to offer. Employee visibility date means this one-time payment is effective from 8/1, but when the employee can see this one-time payment plan in his profile, right? I want him to see as of tomorrow or as of 1st of September. Okay. I can give some random
Yes.
rules. Like I do not have retention here. Let me mention it as incentive. Okay. I'm just selecting the random one. Please don't use it. And from here, you have to select the payment plan. And only those plan will pop up for which this worker will be eligible. In the eligibility group, if in case I have not defined anything, right, so it will be available for all of them. But let's take an example. I have created an eligibility rule for which John is not available. John is not eligible. So those plan will not reflect here. Only here those plan will reflect for which John is
Mm-hmm.
eligible.
Okay.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
likewise, we can offer him. And let's take an example. I selected the retention bonus, right? So within this retention bonus, right,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the amount, so normally we can go and check like what is the, so here they have not defined any amount. That is the reason why the amount is coming as zero. Let me select some other one-time payment plan. There they have already mentioned $1,000. That is why it is coming automatically. Okay, send to payroll. Okay.
Okay.
Work tax, this will come into only picture when if there is anything related to third-party integration, or else there is nothing. That's it, nothing. After that, you can mention the comment and you can just submit this. If there is any attached file with respect to this, you can attach the document over here, or else we are going to submit.
Okay.
Okay. So this is completed. Okay. So this is normally how we normally assign the one-time payment plan to any worker.
Absolutely. I get that.
Okay. Any
Mm-hmm.
doubt, any questions?
No questions as of now. Let me practice it
Okay.
and I'll come back to you.
So
Okay.
similarly, you can use this one-time payment plan for referral bonus, retention bonus, signing bonus, or any severance pay.
Lump sum or
Yeah.
in technology companies, we also have something called skill-based allowances. It comes as an allowance. At the same time, sometimes it will come as a skill professional bonus. For example, if I are having a group of developers or like Java developers, full stack developers,
Mhm.
the company instead of giving them a higher merit along with the merit percentage, right? Whatever they are entitled for, anything extra, they will help the employee to facilitate that course for them. So they will get almost like they will pay for the company, pay for that particular person, and we call it as a skill pay, like a reimbursement part. Okay, in such case, how you create? So ideally, let me put it straight. If a developer is like exceptionally well, and a company is giving them a skill performance bonus, okay. So in that, it is like ideally, it is more like the person can get help. He can choose which skill development required for him to be certified. He will go with the certification, and the company will pay for it like a reimbursement. Okay, so in such case, how you create it, because that is also one of the one-time bonus we have as a
So
practice.
see, it's up to you. Like I gave you an example of one-time bonus, right? So you can create it
Yeah.
in that way, wherein you will strictly define the eligibility criteria depending upon the job profile. Okay, this is the job
Okay.
profile people, and you can mention the timeline as well, right? There can be multiple scenarios. You don't want to give bonus maybe for someone who has joined recently. You want to give bonus, one-time bonus to someone actually who has been into the system for at least couple of years, and apart from that who are into specific skills, right, or maybe some specific location. So you can mention all that items in the eligibility rule. Okay, apart from that,
Okay.
you can mention the amount that you want to give. It can be if in case you want to give based on the some percentage with respect to base pay, you can highlight that. Apart from that, at the
Mm-hmm.
initial stage. So there are multiple ways of doing one thing, right? Apart from that, you have an option of allowance pay as well,
Okay.
allowance plan, right? So normally you can use this as well. So normally allowance plan is something if in case you want to give stocks, right? So
Yeah.
or with respect to anything else, right? So if in
Mm-hmm.
case you want to give stocks, so you will create the stock plans. If in case you want to give normal, like this is something which is happening this year and this might not happen again in the next year, right? So you can
Yes.
normally just create one-time plan, right? You can define the criteria. But let's take an example. You want to give the same thing maybe on a yearly basis, right? That is something which is going
Okay.
to continue. The criteria, the amount can differ, right? So in that scenario, you can create allowance plan as well. If it's for one time as well, you can create the
Mm-hmm.
allowance plan. Okay. So it's
Okay.
completely up to you. Like here as well, you can define the amount, currency, right? Frequency and the eligibility rule, right? And you can mention the.
Okay.
So this will also work.
So this allowance plan can be worked, can work either if we want to choose it as one-time allowances or like year-on-year continuity allowances. So
Correct.
in such case, you need not go for a separate criteria of one-time payment plan.
Correct.
Okay. But it is not the same with that of the merit and the bonus plan. It's a annual process and
Hmm.
we cannot do it. So that in such cases, we create the one-time payment plan in the specific criterion.
See, one of the major use for the one-time payment plan that I mentioned, right? It's mainly
Mm-hmm.
wherein you have a clawback period or you will
Yeah.
pay the amount after a certain specific period of time, right? Or something like retention bonus. So one-time payment is mainly used for those wherein you want to put in
Okay.
criteria because in this allowance plan, you do not have that option.
Okay.
Okay. And yesterday you asked me one more thing, right? Like let's take an example. I want to give the bonus in terms of I want to work with the workers wherein they have to decide whether they want the amount in cash or they want that amount
Exactly.
in stock. So see, there is no such automation that is feasible. Okay.
Okay.
So normally you can do one thing, you can add in the business process, right? Whoever gets eligible for
Okay.
this specific plan, they can choose and later on you have to handle that amount manually through EIBs.
Okay.
Okay.
There are one more option also. For example, I specified right for in terms of let's go back to the stock plan thing. For example, employee is getting the overall as let's keep the regular example what I showed in the for example, let me share if you can stop your screen.
Mhm.
It'll be easy. Okay, this is the one I was talking about. Okay, so here there's sum is like 105. Okay, so this the equity. This is not a performance equity. This is part of the total compensation for the employee.
Mhm.
Okay, but in my company we have a what to say? We have by default we give them 50-50.
Mhm.
Okay, but as an employee, I have all right to choose 60-40. Okay. 60 of RSU allocation and remaining 40 as my VSOP allocation. Or I can go with 80 is to 20, which sums up. So in
Mhm.
such case, how I can adjust it in Workday? This is Excel, yes, it can be done, but in Workday for multiple like 10,000 employees, each having such different plans, because you're giving the choice for the employee to get, you're giving a choice for the employee to decide how he wants to get paid out every quarterly. Because RSU is a ready defined amount for a
Mhm.
particular quarter. For example, if this quarter the stock per stock value is 10 euros, right? It
Mhm.
keeps remaining even the stock is getting fluctuated every day in day out. As a public listed company, it remains in the grant date of 10 euros.
Mhm.
Okay, at the end of the and the last date of the quarter, that is the excising period, right? Last date of the quarter, if the stock is 7 euros, it is a loss. The employee gets a loss and gets just peanuts. But in case the stock rate from 10 has exceeded to that of a 15, the 5 rupee 5 euro whatever it's been extended, that is what the employee will be get paid out, right? You got the
Mhm.
math here. So
Mhm.
here Each of them will have different percentage value. So, or if I see like RSUs is giving me more value compared to VSOPs, I have all authority to ask my payroll team to increase 80 percentage in RSUs, and just I need just 20 percentage of the allocation in VSOPs. I'm not much interested in your phantom stocks, but I'm really interested with your restricted stock units, considering the dilution rates and other criteria for RSUs. I wanted to invest a lot in RSUs, or vice versa. I wanted to invest a lot in VSOPs. I'm
Mhm.
not keen on getting every quarter about your stocks, but I'm really interested in your VSOP values, which is really looking the option price and the percentage of the stock price is really like 32, 33 percentage of the growth rate is there. In such case, I wanted to invest in VSOPs. Each one, say like one employee has such an option, like 50 is to 50, he can choose between the 50-50 or 60-40. It is the employee's decision to take how much ratio among the 50-50. Okay, so it is for the 10,000 employees. Each one will be having different percentage scenarios, right? In such case, how the workday can be bifurcating the data?
So see, talking about the scenario here, right? Like different workers will have different one, but this
Absolutely.
scenario will not come into picture during the. This will come into picture only when the compensation is going to be decided, right? So first of all, we should have
Yes.
the data from them, like which worker is going to allocate what percentage. Okay, so we'll have that information. So normally,
Yes.
once we have
This
that
is.
information, yeah,
Mhm.
good. So once
I
we
will
have
tell you the
that
breakup
information,
here.
right? So now,
This, if you can allow me for a second.
yeah.
Yes, for RSUs and VSOPs, the employee has the decision during the time of the hire.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
And the employee also during the time of the compensation change of the next
mhm,
compensation change, that is
mhm,
when the employee can be given the option again,
mhm,
asking him, saying like now it is like for after 1 year his merit is getting increased, or one after 2 years his compensation is getting changed in a higher value along with
mhm,
a position change, right? During the time of promotion or during the time of the compensation change, again the employee will be given a chance to decide how much ratio that wants to get paid. Okay, those are the only circumstances we allow, because for us it is so cumbersome to keep them allowing like every month they can change with their decision. That never happens. They are
mhm,
given chances to choose only during the time of the hire and only during the time of the compensation change, irrespective it is a promotion or a succession planning, or even it can be a merit increase.
mhm,
Okay, but if anything on a compensation change from the specific number to the next number is when
mhm,
the employee gets the chance to choose what percentage of ratio he wants to get paid for RSUs and BSUs. So I wanted to create a bifurcation, more like a data chart, okay,
mhm,
more like a dashboard to be much precise. While I wanted to represent the dashboard, I wanted to say like how many persons have, say like my dashboard wants to understand. Say like I wanted to represent the stock plans of the company, and I also wanted to know how much of stock plans people have opted for. What is the ratio of RSUs and VSOPs people have opted at individual job levels and individual subordinate organizations? And this is just to understand the what to say the influence of the plan it has
mhm,
altogether. I just wanted to understand whether an internal equity plan is compensable, or we need to come up with an other ratio, or we
mhm.
need to come up with much more lucrative plan. I want to gauge the active plan. So in such case I need to create a report. I wanted a bifurcation how I do it in Workday. At the
So
same time, while i
mhm.
while I'm doing like quarterly allocation, I also wanted to segregate them. How I do that segregation basically for both the dashboard and also for my internal portfolio.
So see, talking about if in case you already have all the RSU allocation or VSO allocation or ESOP allocations, right? So normally you
Yes.
can have the custom reports created and you can link that with the dashboard. So which will give you the insights, right? Exactly what is the current scenario as of now, like how the allocation has been set up. Likewise, you can get the insights. But talking about the other thing, so that is something which is feasible. But for that, you have to create a separate custom report. But talking about
Okay.
first question that you asked, right? Like, let's take an example. You want to uh, give an option to workers during the hire as well as the compensation cycle,
During the compensation
the
change,
merit
yes.
cycle. So normally you should have this info before, or else you have another option, right? Wherein when you initiate the compensation
Can you
cycle.
just show that?
So normally for getting the inputs, right, from
Mm-hmm.
the employees, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can initiate a process with respect to the business process, right? Wherein
Okay.
you can, let me show you. So at what time, at what point of time, normally you get this information with respect to what is the allocation they want to keep. At what point of time?
During the time of hire.
That
Okay.
I got it during
And
the hire. Okay. So if in
okay, you
case,
wanted a specific time frame, is it?
yes, like one hire that I got it for hire, it's simply straightforward.
It's
During the hire process,
from
we have,
during the hire.
so addition.
And say like in terms of compensation change, say like for default, it is like during the time of March of the next consecutive year, after gauging the Jan to December of this year's performance, the employee gets paid out and the payment gets effective from Jan 1st or first or somewhere between March. Let's keep it more volatile like Q1 of consecutive year. Will that be possible in Workday instead
You
of a
can have it
specific date?
whenever point of time, at whatever point of time you want. So normally in the business process, you can get a step added, right, as a to do,
Mhm.
right,
Okay,
wherein we can request the workers to highlight what allocations they want to keep at what percentage. Okay. And we can get,
okay.
let's take an example. Let me share one worker here. Like where exactly we can ask them. If in case they do not want to make any changes, they can skip that. Only if in case they
Okay.
want to make any changes, we can have it. So let's take an example of, here you can see the additional data tab that is available.
Mm-hmm.
Right here we can add couple of fields, right, wherein they want to add on their allocations if in case they wish to change. Okay.
This
Normally,
is for one particular person you're telling. I'm just talking about the 10,000 employees. I
I'm
cannot
talking
go
about all
individually.
the workers. I'm talking about all the workers, right? So a task will be triggered to their inbox, wherein we'll
Okay.
ask them to mention their allocation that they wish to have in additional data
Okay,
type.
and you give them a time frame. Like
Yeah.
before this particular date, you just tell whatever you are doing it.
Yes.
And whatever you create it as a bulk, like
Hmm.
it'll create like a pop-up. That's what you say.
Correct. And later on, we can
Okay.
utilize this,
Mm-hmm.
okay, for your analyzing purpose. So that will
Mm-hmm.
not be the real time data. So what we will do is, once that, so at what time, point of time you want to analyze the allocation data for all the workers? At what point of time you want? Once that is everything is allocated, and at that point of time,
So let's
before that
let's
only.
be let's be realistic. Like by Q1 of end of Q1, I wanted this report from the employees saying like, hey, at the mid of Q1, say like by the end of Feb 28, 28th of Feb, I wanted the employees saying like effective from March, your payroll will be changing, and I wanted to give you you have to specify like whatever the percentage you want to get allocated as a stock plans. So in such case, they will give their consent.
So
Their
in
consent
such
will
case,
be
what we will do is we will not analyze with respect to this additional data from where we'll get the inputs from them, right?
okay.
By
Okay.
that point of time, our merit cycle will be completed and we'll have all the details with respect to the workers for all the 10,000 workers in the compensation information, right? So,
Yes.
so
Yes. And
normally what we will do is we will create a report wherein we will dig in and we'll get those insights, like which employee has what percentage of allocation for RSU or ESOPs and everything, right?
absolutely.
And based
If
on
you could
that,
break
you
a
can
minute.
visualize with respect to the dashboards, we can link that with the dashboards, and we can visualize and we can analyze the data from there.
I have a question here. This is
Mhm.
why I asked you to break. So, what I wanted to do is, if I say like choose between A or a B, my employees will not be giving an answer. Okay. They want a data saying like, hey, if I am an employee and I've been asked by my HR to choose which percentage of ratio I wanted to choose for an RSU and VSOP, I
Mhm.
have to be given with the breakup of the compensation. So ideally, I can give the feed, and as an employee, if you're my HR and you're giving the feed and you're triggering it for me. So as an employee, I'll go to my compensation and I'm able to view the breakup of my compensation. And then you meant to say that I have an option to choose what would be the ratio I wanted to get paid out in RSUs and VSOPs value as my stock plans, right?
Mhm. So see here, you can have it as per whatever your need. If in case, like you mentioned, you do not want it to go to the employee directly, it should go to the HR first. They will decide, and after that, for review purpose only, it will go to the employee. Is that what you said?
No, I'm getting confused now. Let's break it up little by little. Okay.
Mhm.
So I wanted to say like my employee is getting a compensation review, and the compensation is effective from the March payroll.
Mhm.
First of Effective from 1st of March, the employee gets the new compensation. So by ideally by end of Q1. Okay.
Okay.
And the new compensation will be reflecting for the employee from effective 1st of March.
Mhm.
So the payroll will be paid out for him by the end of March, although
Mhm.
it is effective from 1st of March, right? You got that clarity.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is like during the 1st of March, we are also triggering a breakup of the compensation for each and every individual from the total rewards team, saying like, hey guys, this is what your breakage of your compensation. Okay.
Mhm.
However, this is the by default, it is not your performance equity plan. This is your by default equity plan, which is 10% of your base salary is your by default of equity plan. You have to be entitled being a public listed company. So, for example, if it is 92 for the employee, 13 is what it is as an equity plan. So, by default, the system is configuring 50-50, 6,500 and 6,500. And now, as an employee, you can choose either you want a 50-50 or 60-40 or 80-20. It is up to you to decide. Okay. And give the confirmation by so and so date by 15th of March so that it will be effectively paid at the end of March for you based on that particular bifurcation you have chosen. Okay, this is what I wanted to give for the employee. In such case, how you do? You got my question?
Yeah. Now I got it. You wanted to consider this within the compensation cycle.
Exactly, because in India it is totally different. We don't give the choice for employees. Okay, but here in European markets, the pay transparency factor is like so. So after 2024 EU pay transparency, employee wants to know everything, and they are entitled to do everything as per their choice. So as a employer, I am just a provider. So it's going to be an extra task. So yes, it's going to be a pesky task, but I wanted Workday's help to make it like less cumbersome compared to the regular thing what we do. How
So
we do
now
it
you
in
see,
Workday.
talking about automating this, that is not feasible because our input will go. They have one option, right?
Mm-hmm,
Like let's take an example. Whenever the compensation cycle happens, right? There is a
mm-hmm.
one-on-one contact or one-on-one meeting between the manager and the employee. Okay.
Okay.
At that point of time, these things can be highlighted, and the manager can have the liberty to make the changes to that. Okay, we can, as you remember, right? We can make editable format like override option that we had, right?
Yes.
Talking about for different options that we have, we will set the target accordingly, right? For the stock plans, so that it is editable. Okay, with
Okay.
respect to the
Okay.
manager. So the manager will have the respective managers will have the ability to make the changes accordingly. And once that is acknowledged and submitted, by the worker, we will have the right set of data. That is something which we do. But here we do not have the feasibility, like it will go to the worker and worker will make some changes. After that, it will come back. Okay. So that is something which is not feasible.
Okay, okay. In such case, it's going to be a cumbersome process because
Yeah.
you know what? We had a discussion where, depending on the EU pay transparency, we also give that like a choice model for employees. I felt that is like pretty ludicrous because I don't want to get into such option payment for employees.
Mhm.
Okay, because I understand the flexi benefits the employee gets, okay? But on the total compensation, especially when your equity is a solid 10% of your base,
Mhm.
either the employee like it or not, you are already forcing him to buy your equity, okay?
Correct.
Because just because you are a public listed company, you're already forcing the employee to buy equity of 10% when the employee actually demands a 105K as all as the base salary for him, and on top of he's okay to perform and get a performance based discretionary incentive, but you're rubbing it off with 10 percentage, and you cannot give a choice further because it's going to be a ludicrous, absolute ludicrous. But my management decided to do this. That's why I asked, like, is there a feasibility? Because this is like, this is not an option. It's going to be a most cumbersome process while I do the calculation part, as a team in total rewards. So if I say like my workday is not going to support with that process for automation, it will be a lovely message for my management boards to say shut up.
Okay. No, you can do it, but you
That's
have
why
to do
I
it
asked this
manually.
question.
You have to do it manually. All
No,
right.
I told them like my team is not engaged right now and my team is super engaged right now and they don't have time to do this ludicrous thing manually. Because if I'm doing it manually, right, yes,
Yeah, it will be
I have to wait. Nobody gives the answer on so and so date. If
yes.
you set a particular and it is not like India compared, like your people will not. They'll say like you cannot push me, you cannot force me.
Mhm.
So here employees are the king, and you have to absolutely wait until they wish to answer. So that doesn't work. Although we say as an employer like I'm doing the good for you, the employee say did I ask you? In such case only I'm asking like, is it automation possible? If it is automation possible, I would like to know how we create. If it
No,
is
so the
automation
automation in this given
impossible,
scenario, it's not possible.
yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I just want to go back with the no, but still,
Mhm.
I wanted to just check with you if there is a feasibility because I don't want them to rub off my face saying like, no, I just checked. No, I just want to give them an answer. So I
Okay.
thought like if there is any possibility, yes.
Mhm. Let me show you something.
And I also wanted to understand, does Cloud Foundation also take adaptive planning module for in Workday?
I am
Is
not
it like
sure.
a separate
You
module?
can touch base with them once.
But like Workday has brought a new adaptive
Yes,
planning, right?
adaptive planning.
For
Yeah,
dashboard purpose.
correct.
Okay. How you feel like apart from the regular dashboard that we will be able to create via Workday for reporting using report writer, right?
Yes. So,
We usually do the reports using report writer
correct.
for every random reports that like for example you said like create custom report
Mhm.
that is so one of the fringe of the report writer aspects,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
But adaptive planning is much advanced, more like a Power BI level and in
Correct.
fact like a Tableau level.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to understand, like, I'm not sure, like, my company is not ready right now for an adaptive planning, but maybe for futuristic, I would like to know, like, if you are teaching that, I can just ask you and I ask the Workday team if they can align the session with you if you are teaching it. Do you teach it?
No, no. I am not into that.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Now let me show you the EIB thing that we are talking about, right? Wherein if in case
Mm-hmm,
for hundred and thousands of workers, if I want to load something in the
mm-hmm.
system, how normally that happens. So normally that happens through EIB.
Okay.
Like for example, if you want to search for any EIB, the option to search is INTSYS. This is the short form of integration systems. Let me search if we have anything related to stock.
Okay.
Like here you can see we have a stock grant. If in case there is anything that I want to update with respect to stock grant, right? If I want to request any new stock grant that we have, okay. Bonus split in deferred stock units, if there is any bonus split. So there are different EIBs that is available. If in case you want to create your own, you have that option. But if in case you have already been using this would be available. If in case you want to create this, the task is simple. You can go to create EIB.
Okay.
This is the task normally that we go. Like let's take an
Okay.
example.
In EIB, you also have inbound and outbound, right? Oh, that's what I
Yes.
was asking.
Inbound is something which I
The
want to
date.
load into the Workday system.
Okay.
Okay. Outbound is some data that I want to extract from Workday system. Okay. Let's take an example. If I want to get the list of all the stock grants that is there as of now, right? I
I'll
can
go with
use
outbound.
outbound, right? And this
Okay.
outbound is mainly used in terms of integrations. Okay.
Okay.
Like let's take an
Okay.
example. I normally do the payroll stuff from ADP. I am not using Workday payroll. So in that scenario,
Okay.
worker related all the informations will we set normally an outbound integration. So normally it will all the employee related information, everything,
From
and
a
notice
third
of
party
pay and
tool.
all that each
From a
and
third
every.
party API.
Yes,
You
correct.
meant, okay, for example, for example, I'm doing, what is it, market pricing for
Mhm,
employees. So ideally, it is like I'm going to pull out and data from Radford,
mhm.
which is the third party tool. So ideally, I'm just have to choose outbound
No,
and I
no, no.
have to upload
If
the data.
you are trying to get something from a third party, let's take an example of pay ranges, right? If we
Yeah.
have some pay ranges that you have from the third party and you want to get into the Workday, then you will use inbound.
Okay. It
Okay.
is the same if I am using any
Yeah.
third party, even ShareWorks for my stock plan, everything, any third party data that I am putting inside Workday, it is
Mhm.
inbound.
Correct.
And could you redefine the outbound, please?
Mhm. Outbound is nothing but if I need the Workday related data and I want to use in some third party, in that scenario, normally we will get into the outbound.
Could you just give some examples?
Don't need to play with this. This as the password. Can you see my
I can see your word screen.
this is not working. Okay. Inbound. Okay. Inbound
Okay.
means if or any scenario wherein
Mm-hmm.
I want to load or update data into Workday. For
Okay.
example, let's take an example for time tracking. Okay. Like in time
Mm-hmm.
tracking, let's take an example. You use punch in, punch out cards, right? You are not using
Okay.
timesheets. So talking about those punch in and punch out, normally what happens is that will be done through some third party API. Okay. That
Mm-hmm.
third party API will be integrated with Workday. So whatever punch in, punch out will in details is coming, it will go to the third party API and from there it will get into Workday. Okay.
Okay.
Or let's take another example. As of now, for all the workers that you do not have previous worker history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So if you want to load this information for all the workers in Workday, you will use inbound. Okay.
Okay.
So if there is any information that you want in the Workday system, right,
Okay.
you will do inbound and you will load the information. Whereas talking
Okay.
about outbound, outbound is nothing but where I want to extract the data
From Workday.
from Workday for different purpose.
For example, in Workday, I wanted to extract how much, what is the bonus plan, how many, what is the cost of the, what is the overall bonus cost or the overall
So
bonus
see,
pool
for
that I
this
require
purpose, normally you will not use outbound, because if in case you want to get only those information, you can create a report within
using
Workday.
custom report.
Yeah, and you can get the information there itself. Okay. In
Okay,
that scenario, I will
okay,
not use outbound. I will use outbound in the scenarios wherein I want to use that data that I'm extracting in some third party system or third party tool. So in that scenario, only normally we use this outbound.
okay. For example, let's say like I am having ShareWorks,
Mm,
okay, and from Workday, I want to download a list of employees,
mm,
okay, just for my database purpose, for me
mm,
to calculate the forecast of thing, because all the shares will be allocated in ShareWorks, which is our third party equity management tool.
mm,
So if I wanted to allocate such equity management using
mm,
my third party tool like ShareWorks, for that
mm,
I would like to, I wanted my ShareWorks to know like these are the employee numbers and this is the share numbers. These are the entitled shares they are listed for this particular annual, and I upload the
correct,
data in ShareWorks. Right, that
correct,
time I pull out the outbound report, especially like employee database. Right,
correct.
all the employee database is the outbound that I pull out from the report and
Mhm,
use it for my analysis purpose.
correct.
It can be for my internal analysis, or if I wanted to, most probably it will be like if I wanted to upload like in
Let me give you
ShareWorks or
another
any other third
example,
party
right?
tool.
You want to do the analysis for the stock plans
Or
or the stock that
yeah,
you have, but you do not want to do that in Workday. You have a third party system, right?
yes,
Who do the analysis in much better way, right? So
yes,
normally in this scenario, what you will do is you will extract all the information through Outbound and you will analyze the data over there. Okay.
exactly, exactly.
So let me show you like how exactly those looks. AIB.
Mhm,
So normally there is one thing that we have to input the web service operation. Like here I'm talking about stock grant,
mhm,
like add stock grant or update stock grant. Let's take an example. I want to add a stock grant. Wherever you see
mhm.
web service, that is with respect to integration. Okay.
Okay.
There is nothing that's what we have to fill.
So if I say like add stock grants at the space of the web service, it will be the integrated tools name also. Like ShareWorks means instead of web service, it will mention as ShareWorks.
No, no. Web
It
service
will
is
be
nothing
mentioned.
but web service is nothing but we are using a web related services for
Okay.
updating the information within Workday or extracting it. Okay.
Okay.
So I have already created the add stock grant template. I have already
Mhm.
created this integration system. Right. Now we'll show you how the template looks like for adding the stock grant. Okay.
Okay.
So normally you can go to the template model. Here you
Mhm.
can generate the template.
Okay.
Okay. You can use a different format. Normally we use XLSX, which is nothing but in the
Yeah.
form. Uh,
Of Excel sheet. Yeah.
yes. Okay. This will take
Mhm.
a few seconds to download, and we will have
Mhm.
the have our template in the output files.
Okay.
Once it gets downloaded, you will get a notification. Okay. You can go to the output file sections, or you can download it from here as well. So this is the template, right? Wherein you have to mention all the stock. that you want to grant for any specific worker. Okay, like let's take an example. This spreadsheet is nothing but normally we call it as a serial number. Effective date,
Okay.
like since when this stock grant is effective, we can mention your list of all the employees, IDs. Okay, this position ID is optional. Again, stock plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
For every stock plan, we have a respective ID, right, which we have to mention here. Again, if in
Mm-hmm.
case I want to mention the grant type, right? So we can look into this. So talking about all this, the template that I have, right? So you can list
Mm-hmm.
in, you will get all the options that you
Grant
get.
type will be usually like ESOP or VSOP or
Correct,
RSUs.
correct.
And stock grant reference, what is the stock grant reference number? It is a series of number.
Yes. So if there is any
Okay.
reference with respect to the stock grant, so normally say talking about all this EIBs that we have, right? If you have
Mm-hmm.
access to Workday community, right? They
Okay.
have a sample for all the EIBs that we have in place in Workday community. Because normally we
Okay.
just don't remember like what all we have to fill. Normally we
Okay.
download the template with the sample examples from the Workday community, and from there you can list in all the items that you wish to have. But this is a simple and
Okay, I just
straightforward.
wanted to ask you, Raj, because I'm not sure whether I have access for a Workday community.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm pretty new with my system, so I will be asking my team who have been integrating with Workday,
Mhm.
or I will just reach out to my Workday account manager and ask for my
Yes.
Workday's community access, right?
Yeah,
That's
first of
what
all,
you
you
want.
check with your colleagues if they have the Workday
Okay.
community access or not. If in case they have, you
Hmm.
can request for yourself.
Amazing.
Okay. So this is what normally we have in EIB. You can review this from your, you can download it in your practice talent. You can review.
Hmm.
So normally
Okay.
when you go to a task,
Hmm.
add stock grant task, right? This is
Yeah.
something which we do manually for some respective workers, right? For a year, I can do only for one worker, right? Similarly, here in the
Yes.
EIB, you can do it for hundreds and thousands of workers, right? It is pretty much same
Okay.
like as in what we do here. Okay, like effective date that we mentioned, stock plan. We can choose some stock plans. Let's take an example. I choose this stock plan. Okay. After that, you mention the amount granted currency. So all these options you will get similar options you are going to get within this EIB only. The only the difference here is
Okay.
this is within Workday, and this is something which you will have in a Excel format wherein you can fill.
Okay.
Okay, there is no other
Okay, this you can
top.
do it for bulk option also.
Yes,
You can
yes,
just, this is basically for bulk option, but the one you showed us for individual cases. And you wanted to do it for bulk for 2,000 people, you can just add it. You can just pull out the employee data by doing the outbound. You can just pull out the employee database and you can fill it out and you can just put it in the inbound.
correct. Here talking about the
Okay.
stock plan, this is a required field, and here it is asking for compensation
Stock
plan
plan.
ID, means stock plan ID.
This
So how you will get those IDs? So normally you have to go to the related action of those plan, and here within the integrations ID,
yeah.
you can look for
Look for the
specific
view
IDs.
IDs.
Here you can see the compensation plan ID is nothing but this. So this is the ID that you are going to use in the Excel.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got
So
it.
that's how normally you search for IDs. Okay.
Okay. Definitely.
So that's all. You can take your time tomorrow and next
Yeah.
couple of days for practice, and we'll connect back again on Monday and discuss further.